All right, folks, welcome back. It's the ADL. It's another night of action. Here we've got two best-of-2 series between four great teams. Starting off, of course, with Shadows of the Past versus Sneaky Nick's Assassin. One of our closest games probably throughout the entire 2 weeks of the ADL. And thus far, we've had some great series already. Thanks so much for joining us here on twitch.tv/American Dota League. Once again, my name is Mont, and joining me, as always, is the just great guy, Kyle Guy. How are you doing, sir?
Mont, I'm doing great. Happy to be back by your side, casting some classic American Dota here. And I'm particularly excited about this matchup. I like it a lot. This is some prominent NEL talent, and a lot of regular B-list and C-list Dota celebrities, if you will. It's going to be a fun night. We even have some B-list statsmen in the house. So, Nahas, what's up to you?
Oh, man. Oh, my gosh. You're getting the flames out early. You calling fluffing stuff and Ike's and like B-list. Oh, man. I'm sure they're not going to feel too happy about that. But you talked about how exciting this matchup is going to be, and you're absolutely right, honestly. Sneaky Nick's Assassin, they have yet to lose a game. They only played one series. I believe it was versus Asurus. They 2-0'd them, so no problem there. Shadows of the Past, their first loss came last night to Osiris Gaming. But they're 5-1. They've been playing so well. Just such an incredible team. Of course, you saw them last night, and really, it's anybody's series here, I gotta say.
It is anyone's game, and on paper, and I doubt this game in particular is up on the Dota 2 Lounge. Like, I would say this is probably, I want to say 60-40 favor Sneaky Nick's Assassins. That's just me. And I'm not trying to be biased at all about the whole thing. I'm really intrigued, but Sneaky Nick's Assassins, when they have the right draft set up for them, they can really make something happen. One prominent stat that popped out when I was looking through a bit of their history is they're actually currently 5-0 with Clockwork. They have yet to lose with the Clockwork, man. Mike is doing serious work in that off lane.
Yeah, and for all of the crap people gave Mike as a support when he played for Liquid, and even before that for, of course, Complexity, this guy, he knows how to play the off lane. I've seen him do it in so many NEL games, and that's what he picks for himself or gets picked when he plays an NEL game. NEL, rest in peace, obviously. But, of course, Sneaky Nick's Assassin, they decided to go for the Ancient Apparition first, and, well, you really just chilling touch. Like, listen, you just want to touch some people, and that's understandable when you've got that Ancient Apparition, man. I mean,
you gotta have a cold hand there. Be careful there, Mom, with the touching and the feeling early in it. And even Ryu has something to say about it. That's right, everyone. The former E-Hug, former Shadows of the Past member, Ryu Boris, is kind of lingering over our shoulders in the broadcast booth right now. So if you hear any funny noises in the background, that's probably going to be a testament to him right there. But I also want to correct myself on the stat before. He's not 5-0. He's 8-0 in that Clockwork. So, man, my man Mike, very, very good.
He's doing well.
Nahaz would be proud now.
Reserve time. Nahaz. We've got a new stat man in trading, Nahaz. You better look out. Your job might be in trouble.
I dropped like a whopping 1 stat my last game I did.
Hey, listen, we got to all start somewhere, and for you, that was a good start,
it's
obviously.
The bottom. Yeah, it's the bottom, starting from the bottom.
Starting from the bottom, now we're somewhere slightly above the middle. So Shadows of the Past are going to pick up the Invoker. Another hero going to come out, the Doom as well. So already Shadows of the Past, they go for the Invoker, they go for the Doom Invoker. Well, what can you say about that hero other than, well, he's very versatile. I mean, he has decent matchups mid. You can try to shut him down, but he should be generally okay. For the Doom, that's a hero that if he's not in the mid, if he's in a safe lane, it's going to be tough because he really doesn't bring a lot to the laning stage. In terms of early game potential, it really comes down to can he get Devour and Midas early on and get 6 for that Doom to start fighting.
Yeah, it's always interesting when a Doom gets picked up this early in the draft. Now you get to see Sneaky Nick's Assassins. What do they do about it? My always go-to tactic that I love to throw out there as an early Doom pickup is you just pick up multiple targets for Doom to have to work with. If you're kind of sweating over the right prominent use of your R button, you're not going to find the right target, and you're going to be leaving a lot of valuable heroes able to do everything they want. Or you look to build up maybe a heavy right-click hero. I know a lot of people like to go something like maybe a Shadow Fiend, because once they get their BKB off and stuff, Doom doesn't matter because he's still going to be going ham with the right-clicks. And look at that, good old Clockwork. Let's see if we can make it 9-0 for Sneaky Nick's Assassins.
And this could be the combo breaker, ladies and gentlemen. Shadows of the Past, I wouldn't consider them the juggernauts of the Titans just yet of Group B, but they're certainly making it to seem that way. And as it stands right now, I mean, Clockwork, though, for Ix Mike, we've talked about it before. This guy, he hits hooks. Like, there are very few hooks that he misses, as compared to, of course, last night, Nayrok, in the game that they lost. He was playing a Clockwork, and Nayrok just had a rough time. He actually blamed it on, and I'll use air quotes here that you can't see because I'm talking through a microphone, lag. Just throw the air quotes in there wherever you will. You know, I definitely feel like this is a strong startup for them. I really enjoy when teams go for the off lanes first, because that means that those heroes that they generally really want aren't going to get banned out. And for the most part, your off lane is a pretty big integral role into your lineup when it comes to Dota nowadays. I feel like your off lane first and foremost is really what kind of, you know, wins you or loses you games. I think it's really important they grabbed it.
Yeah, I love it. I'm always a big favor of the Initiator, and he works good against the Doom because prominently Clockwork will get everything off before he even gets into the fight, so a Doom on him wouldn't really matter too much. And, you know, we'll see if he decides to build it into, like, a Blade Mail or something to have a little more durability for themselves. But we need to look onto a little more support coming out from both teams now. They're doing the ban out of the off lane for Sneaky Nyx Assassins, removing the Nature's Prophet and even the Centaur. We still have a Nyx on the field. If they decide to pick it up and use it for their own off lane, it wouldn't be a bad option. We've also seen teams from time to time switch the Invoker over from the mid lane and run him in the safe lane. But now that I'm saying that out loud and I'm seeing the Doom, that's very unlikely. This will most likely be a prominent mid lane Invoker. And I'm trying to think, off the top of your head, maybe we can ask this one question to Ryu since he's just sitting here. Ryu, if you're an Invoker in the mid lane, who is your #1 nemesis right there across the lane?
Nemesis? Probably OD.
OD, huh?
I played that matchup last night. It was miserable. God, it was miserable. Jeez.
Once, actually, you can, like, it depends on if you're going Quasvex. If you go Exort, you can actually do really well against OD right when you get around, like, level 4-ish. If you don't, though, you're going to get poo-pooed on.
Yeah.
Depends.
All right. Thank you, Ryu.
Thank you for that input.
Thank you, Ryu. Thank you, Ryu.
You can go back to your cage.
Back down in the corner there, please.
Yeah,
thank you.
We don't want to hear from you until we ask you another question.
Yes, exactly.
Listen.
Exactly. Mott's got it.
But, yeah, no, he makes a good point, obviously. You probably won't see an OD pickup come out from Sneaky Nyx Assassins. It's just not a hero that's run anymore. But, and I want to talk about myself a bit here, and I know that's a bit... That's a bit arrogant, obviously, but I actually had a game last night with some friends of mine, obviously my brother and his friend, and they're obviously they're on their way to becoming Dota masters. They just started playing, so they're not the best, and so that puts me on my Smurf against people that aren't as good. So with Invoker, I was against the OD. I did go for that Quas Exort. Luckily, I mean, there wasn't much I could do, but I got an early ring of facilities, was able to get last hits in and actually kind of coordinate with Sunstrikes around the map, and time again, you'll hear me kind of say, I'll promote the Quas Exort Invoker. I just like it better from, not a playing standpoint, but at least from a spectator standpoint. So,
oh, yeah, it's a crowd pleaser, Mom. It's crowd pleasing.
It is, so.
We love it. You love it, you know. You know, I like this. A little bit of, I don't know, a little bit of stream sniping here. Shadows of the Past, banning out the Shadow Fiend. I made the call right there. He's just one of the better carries to get when you got a Doom on your team, but they're going to X-nay that right off the bat, and a Shadow Demon's going to pop up for Sneaky Nyx Assassin. This is a fun little back pocket strat I always enjoy, working with the Disruption and the Ancient Apparition Cold Feet. You can time it perfectly. It's almost a guarantee stun. That's a very nice, corny little combo they got there.
Yeah, that works, but also I think more so than anything, it's for, obviously, if you get hit up by an arrow, if you're maybe getting got on, because the last thing you want to have happen is get hit by an arrow and then Sunstrike. If you're banished with that Disruption, you are kind of safe in that certain regard as well. So not only works with the Ancient Apparition, but is also good in terms of being a defensive tool as well as an offensive one. And Soul Catcher is so very good at amplifying that damage and can just burst people down very quickly. But as it stands now, Shadows of the Past, they have a bit of a greedy lineup. They haven't picked any real supports yet unless they want to go for that Mirana. And at this point, you can honestly say maybe they do something like a solo safe lane Doom, and you can go for an aggressive tri-lane with the Mirana and another hero. Against an Ancient Apparition, though, and against the Shadow Demon might not be the best idea, but there's still a lot of options coming out for both sides here as the supports still need to be picked up. There's one of them.
Ooh. Okay, yeah, they definitely, I was going to say the same thing. They definitely need to get those supports going. This Mirana could kind of be wishy-washy. It still could always be that support-style Mirana here. And, you know, I always see a very, like, different performance each time it comes out. It's either an amazing get-up or it's the worst thing that's ever happened to the game. So we'll see what they decide to fall back on, regardless if they want to use it as a bit of a core. Is there anything you're leaning towards here for this Mirana? Is this looking like a core Mirana to you? I'm bewildered right now.
I think right now as it stands, they can't really use that as support because you need somebody to combine up with that stun, and I don't think Grave Chill's gonna be that kind of ability. I think Mirana's just, she's got to be a farming, I think, and at least right now, she's got to be a somewhat farming role here. I'd be very surprised to see a support Mirana come out for Shadows of the Past, but once again, I've been wrong before. I mean, listen, I'm wrong most of the time, so I definitely don't think my opinion is that big of a consequence here. However, Sneaky Nyx Assassin, I can tell you for a fact that they need their safe lane and mid lane hero here. Be very surprised to see anything else come out from them in this next pick with 1 minute and 10 seconds left in reserve time.
And a fun little stat fact for all you stat nerds out there. On Shadows of the Past, they are actually currently 3-0 with Mirana. So let's see if they have their own little hot little undefeated streak with the lady, the resplendent-looking Mirana. I tip my fedora at you, my lady. Oh, everyone bow down to the highness. Woo! The king has entered the field. Everyone give it up. You're now before the king. I was so tickled. I was watching Barney, who's back to streaming again, and he was playing Wraith King, and it was so fun to watch. And I'm just like, I really want to cast the Wraith King game, and man, Snog give it to me, and I love it.
Yeah, Wraith King I love, and shoutouts to Barney, great streamer, a lot of fun to watch. In fact, I think out of all the streamers, the streamer that me and my friends can kind of like say that we love watching is Barney for sure. So shoutouts to him. Not that he needs the help, he gets a lot of viewers whenever he does stream with that heavy commentary, of course. Wraith King's so nice, and talking about my new brother and how he started playing Dota, he saw Wraith King. And he's just like, that was so cool how we got the Radiance up early on. Wraith King's amazing. I wanted to play the Wraith King. And it's just kind of like, yeah, you want to play him in a game, but then you realize maybe that's not the best idea when you're in a pub. So he's another crowd pleaser, I think, because Reincarnation just gives you that extra fighting potential. You take him down once, you got to take him down again, or else he's going to start going to town on you. And he has the potential to kind of bring the game to a halt and essentially kind of win fights for you, especially if you can get up to level 2 ultimate very quickly. That's the problem. Level 1 ultimate, that's like a ridiculously long cooldown. It's like something like 270 seconds or something. Some crazy thing like that. 260 actually. I was off by 10 seconds. Well, yeah.
I can't even think of the game I was watching. I don't even know if it was like a real tournament game or just someone was spectating, but they were playing a Wraith King. They went with the Blink Dagger. I never have seen 2 Wraith King builds be the same. Everyone kind of has their own little unique niche with it. So I'm really curious to see how they're going to make it work. I'm a big fan of the hero. Ryu, I'm going to go to you one more time real quick here. As a professional player, your personal opinion on Wraith King, is he coming into this meta? Or is this just like a little bit of a fling?
I mean, he's easily countered by Necro Books and Mana Burn, so if he's a support, he's doable maybe. I don't know about this carry. I think there's too many things that counter and kite him too easily.
Very notable, right? Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Not too much mana available, or mana, degen rather available, unless they consider going with like a Diffusal Blade Mirana or something right there. So it is a bit interesting for Wraith King, and maybe he'll come back and look at this mod. They round things out. Sneaky Nyx Assassin with a Death Prophet.
It's a very sneaky pick, you could say, coming up for Sna. And Ryu, I'm just gonna. We talked about this before. I'm gonna throw it out there, man. But your mic sounds awful, dude. It just is. It is not of the best quality, my friend. So
to me,
no. Ryu's mic.
Oh,
your mic is beautiful.
Oh, is it? Is it that?
Can you lick your lips again?
That wasn't a licking of the lips. It was that kiss kind of gesture.
I know what it was,
can you bring your microphone to your lips, Ryu? I mean, because I don't know where the hell yours is coming from right now. So.
All right, Ryu, you're going back in the corner now. We're jumping into the game, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us here on the American Dota League. Of course, it is Shadows of the Past versus Sneaky Nyx Assassin. It's a 2-game series between, I guess, what you consider the 2 of the top tier talents in Group B coming out right now. We'll see who can take the victory as we jump into the game. Both drafts very interesting, and well, here we go. For Sneaky Nyx Assassin, you've got Sna, the namesake. He'll be on the Death Prophet. Whitebeard, formerly a Fnatic NA, and of course JT Dota is going to be on that Shadow Demon. IX Mike 88, the legend, the stash himself, will be on the Clockwork. His friend Fluff and Stuff will be on the Nation Apparition, and to round it all out, Dota will be on that Wraith King.
And on your Shadows of the Past, on your Dire side, on the leading the front down here in the bottom lane, we got Nayrok, or backwards Korean, playing Doom, which I didn't even realize that mod till recently, and I feel terrible for saying that, but I had my mind blown when I discovered it was Nayrok is Korean backwards. But there it is. 4, aka I believe Last Hit Magic, playing your Visage. 1, aka what is it, Risk?
Yes.
Is playing your Mirana, and then Joik is going to be playing your Rubik, and finally, where did he go? Get over here. It's Invoker, and that's going to be Chicken MC. That's the closest I've seen him actually use his name. Props to him.
Yeah, I mean, he's the bad boy of the ADL, not using his name in the right way, just making sure that he changes it every game. So shout outs to Chicken MC. Decent guy, good player. Pubbed with him once. He went mid Shadow Demon and proceeded to actually take control of the game, but that's been a long time ago. It's a good guy, good player, very talented, I'd say. But if you look at it right now, and we talked about it, you're like, well, where's this Mirana going to be played? And I said, I don't think it's going to be that support role. It is going to be the carry Mirana, or at least somewhat of a carry, as they're going for an aggro tri-lane. They didn't see the double damage rune bottom. That is a huge rune to pick up at level 1. Whoever gets that might be in the lead here early on. But look at this. IX Mike bottom with Whitebeard, and top it's Ush with, of course, Fluff and stuff, dodging the aggro try to a certain extent.
Usually we prominently see the IX Mike hold up the off lane on his own, but I have seen a couple of times where they feel like they might be going against a very aggressive lane, which this case they are. He wants to have a little bit of backup nearby. The Shadow Demon is relatively nearby. He's warding for now, but he just needs a little bit of backup because they might be able to get the upper hand if they lock him down with specifically rather with the telekinesis into an arrow. So Mike will have to be cautious, but they're actually already on the hunt here with an early smoke, trying to scout out and see if they could find the Shadow Demon and then maybe make a full rotation all the way to the mid here. Interesting.
Yeah, they're going to go straight for this Death Prophet. They want to shut her down early on, and she's got no escape potential. She's got no boots. She's got a bottle flying out, or at least running out to her right now as it stands. She'll wait for that. And look how patient Joik and Last Hit Magic are sitting. Sna backing off, realizing everyone's off the map. Sna's just going to look around. They're still on the high ground. The smoke is going to break, but still it looks like Sna hasn't really gotten vision. Now he does because, of course, this Observer Ward is going to spot things out there. That means Sna's just going to go back to the lane. They realize that the gank is over, and, well, they'll counter ward real quick, and that's a smart play. They only get 50 gold out of it, whereas First Blood, but bottom now, Risk getting in some trouble here. He's got no leap. He went for the greedy arrow first. He's going to get right-click down, long range. Yes, Whitebeard snipes him somehow across the way. This chasm, not enough to save the life of Risk, sadly going down there.
Mike almost let that one go. He pulled back the wrench and didn't hit that last hit, but she did try to go for like a YOLO 360 leap across the lake there, but ultimately, a lingering auto attack did snip her out. So First Blood going over to sneaky Nyx Assassins and holding Trident True in the offlane, man. Clockwork. It's been working for him. All these games are going to just keep this party going. And it looks like, the rest of Shadows of the Past are going to make the rotation over. And you know what? Props to Team Sna there. They saw the smoke gank potentially happening in the mid. Once they saw that, they knew that Mirana was alone. They just jumped on her immediately.
Yeah, that is just really nice timing coming out from Sneaky Nyx Assassin. That's something Shadows of the Past are going to have to be aware of. Mike, nice cogs coming through. Joik and, of course, Last Hit Magic. They can't get up to the high ground now. Those cogs are just like, well, nope, you're not moving anywhere. But while that's all happening, Ush is continuing to get free farm in the top lane, and because it's a Doom, he's got no laning presence. Nayrok, he's playing this solo safe lane Doom, which I called attention to in the draft, but as it stands now, he's not getting any CS. So early Midas, definitely not going to happen. Devour is going to be one of the only ways he's going to get CS, at least any sort of gold early on in the game, which is a good way to shut down that Doom to start things off.
Yeah, man, Chicken MC is going to town in this mid lane, leading the front 8 and 5 CS in comparison. I mean, not by a whole lot, I would seem, but he's been laying out heavy harassment with the help of the Cold Snap and just asserting his lane dominance here and doing a good job. And obviously, he is going with the Quas Wex get up. No surprises there. Love the crowd control, heavy tornado setup with the help of the EMP here. And just like I'm talking about, a few last hits in here, swings him back, shows his cojones, pops his collar.
I mean, Quaspix is so good, and they have such potentially strong team fight now that, honestly, it's fine. They don't need to push in. They can use the Visage Familiars for that later. They can get an Necrobook later if they really need to, but as it stands, the only real threat for pushing from Sna comes out from the Death Prophet, and if they shut her down, it's not going to be an issue. Now already you can see IX Mike, he's building towards Flare more so than the Battery Sold as it stands. He might even max the Flare again. He's actually a big proponent of it, it seems. He'll need mana, which of course can come through the Robe of the Magi, but he can also, of course for the, Blade Mail, but he can also go for a bottle if necessary, even a Ring of Basilius to a certain extent. But one kill going the way of Sneaky Nyx Assassin, but that's all that's really happening. And that was in a dual lane down bottom, so they actually, I think, they just stopped the aggressive traveling and they sent the Visage top to get levels.
They definitely need a little assistance up there because Your Highness is leading the front. Ush doing classic work right now on the Wraith King, building up the last hits, 23 and 9. Things are going swimmingly because this man needs a good set of items here before he can really be a potential factor. And I don't know what Ush's style is going to be with this Wraith King. This, as far as I know, is his first recorded get up on the Wraith King, at least of any game I could look up. So I don't know. I mean, I've seen people go as crazy as refresher pickup early. I've seen people just want to go with that initiate with the blink dagger and just try to be a part of the fights. Basically, though, you want to get the XP quick. You want to get that 16 reincarnation, because at that point, it just feels like you can never take the man down.
Yeah, and I think right now they're just going to focus on him getting experience in the last hits, and he'll go probably, I think, Blade Mill. Brown Boots, Blade Mail, Treads, maybe a Blink Dagger after that, or into another item. Maelstrom and Mjolnir is kind of popular on this hero as well. So, like you said, and it's kind of like a DK, there's a lot of popular builds that you can go for, and there's no real wrong answer unless you're going for like a Divine Rapier Rush. Now, Telekinesis bottom into the arrow, Whitebeard taking that damage, Fade Bolt, there's not enough to take down the kill. Maybe if they had the Visage, that's an early kill going the way of Risk, but sadly, he's not there. He's up in that top lane, so... And they get the arrow, they get the damage, but Shadow Demon, who's an inherently squishy hero, stays alive.
Yeah, I mean, there's just... They have a lot of good defense here in this bottom lane, though, between the two. With help of the cogs and disruption there, they can get away from a hairy situation. You just see it right there. So they're doing a pretty good job helping each other out, not getting caught out, and beginning to assert their dominance in the lane. There goes a jumping, though. Mike getting a lot of damage here with the Starstorm, but there's the first defense mechanism I'm talking about. Disruption flies out and will slow their roll. He'll salve up and get right back online.
Yeah, X-Mike not too concerned about that. He'll salve up right now, and he still has a Tango ready to go, and he's in fact going to get a bottle. So maybe not going to go for that early Blade Mail. Instead, he'll have the regen coming out from a bottle. As it stands, that's a pretty good pickup. Right now, the Radiant are leading the way in CS. They're the top 3. Invoker's actually, well, he's about tied with them, so you could say they're arguably top 4 here with Chicken MC doing some work. His phase are done now. We'll see if he picks up a Basilius, maybe something else to control fights, maybe a 4-staff drum, maybe even just a magic wand at this point. But look at top. It's getting so low. Ush and Fluff can't take it down just yet. This catapult might put it in deny range, and it does. It's in deny range now, so Last Hit Magic can deny this tower if he wants to, and looks like he will, so... A little bit of gold that could be going the way. They're going to run at it. They're going to Chilling Touch, and they're going to get Ush taking this tower down. Look at that. Take it. Get it. There you go, Fluff. Yep. Nicely played.
Tower has fallen.
Tower acquired. Very nice. First one of the game. A little bit extra gold going towards the Radiant side, and they're happy to take it. Happy to take in the little bit extra farm towards this Wraith King. So far, things are looking great for him. 2,300 gold. Is this an immediate Midas kind of get up here, or is he holding out a little bit longer for something else?
I generally don't see Wraith Kings go for Midases, so I'd be very surprised to see it. I mean, if he wanted to buy it, he would have bought it already.
Yeah.
I'd say it's either that Blade Mail, which he has enough money for, I believe, or it's just going to be right into a Relic. And if it's a Relic, then this is going to be a scary early game coming up for Shadows of the Past. It's something that they'll have to be very wary of, because not only will they have control with the Hookshot Clockwork Initiation, but they'll have the Reincarnation Slow, the Radiant Spurn to deal with, and then on top of that, the Exorcism Spirits as well, which is a lot of team fight. With Shadows of the Past, they want to control, but honestly, I don't know. It's going to be tough.
I do like the idea of the Wraith King going against a Doom, because it's a given that Doom probably shouldn't use his Doom on the Wraith King initially until after the ultimate pops, but by then you're kind of waiting a little too long to get something going right there. It kind of mixes things up. And I think it's a nice solid pickup in this case, and they're doing some good work with it early. And we'll see how his Majesty can make things happen down the road.
And honestly, you talked about Doom, and we joked about it before. It's kind of the Doom counter to a certain extent. Or, yeah, I guess the Wraith King is sort of a Doom counter. You're not going to use that Doom on him, and if you try to fight him, I mean, Wraith King's just going to man up and kill you. He's got more right-click potential. He's got a stun. There's no way you're going to lock this Wraith King down, really, unless you've got multiple heroes to do it. He's rather tanky with Treads as well, so... Ush picking, or at least getting a hero picked for him that he knows is going to work well in this lineup, and he's sitting at 51 CS right now, 52 at 7 minutes. So some of that's coming from the jungle, but still a very strong start for Ush.
Mid lane's been a Clash of the Titans for a long time now. Obviously, the Death Prophet not looking to linger off too far, as maybe she can hold the fort here in the mid and then find the right opportunity to pop that R button and try to take down a tower. But Chicken OC's been holding here as the Invoker and just... want to hold fast instead, man. I'm hearing a lot of runes go off. It's like a rune party down here in the bottom lane, and actually a quick pickoff as Mike jumps in and takes out Mirana.
Yeah, I was too busy looking at Joik and that rune that he picked up, and of course, like you mentioned, rune control, which is really important for Sna. He couldn't get it. Joik picks it up, but they do lose the Mirana coming out their way, so even when they miss the rune, they get a kill. Mid lane, bit of action happening. Chicken MC silenced up right now. TP rotation is coming through. And of course, Last Hit Magic wants to make sure this Invoker survives. And actually, he had Tornado EMP ready to go. With EMP, you maybe actually lose enough mana where Ush can't reincarnate. And I think that's the biggest issue. Down bottom, they're going to try to go on Whitebeard here potentially, as there might be a telekinesis. There's going to be the disruption. It's used defensively. Now, can they get this? He's just standing there. They know which one's real. They're going to telekinesis it up. Arrow might fly, get a hit on the illusion. Not the right play there. Shadow Poison Poison doing work, but not enough. Whitebeard will
Top
fall.
lane.
Doom.
Even snuck out a quick pick off on Fluff with Doom, so all over the map.
Yeah. Seems like there's just action everywhere. It's still only 2-2, but it seemed a bit faster paced than that, actually. It just seemed like there's been more action than the kills have indicated. So a couple kills going each way. Nice support kill there, but the Doom picking up Fluff and stuff is also very nice. Doom getting back into it with 36 CS. So Doom, who kind of rotated to the jungle for a while, Nayrok getting back right into this game here. So
I feel stupid for not mentioning in the draft because I said, oh, they don't really have any real mana degen. Well, they have EMP, and that's probably one of the better ones in the whole game. So that's something that Wraith King's going to have to be careful of, is what Invoker's going to be able to bring into these fights and shutting him down and, you know, only allowing him to just have that one sweet life.
Yeah, we'll see, though. I mean, it really comes down to his positioning. The EMP placed down before the tornado goes is going to be indicative of if he can steal that mana. But Chicken MC getting ganked. Disruption, Soul Catcher. Droik is here. The hook shot just missed time from Mike. Now Chicken MC, EMP is going to go. Mike is out of mana. Sna is out of mana. The Ice Blast is going to hit. Chicken MC getting low. The Soul Assumption and the Visage Burst doing work. Telekinesis. Mike is overextended. It's a 2-for-1 as the Invoker did go down to the Shatter from the Ice Blast. But a good trade coming out for Shadows of the Past despite losing their mid laner.
Yeah, they committed a lot more than they like to try to even just get that one kill, and Death Prophet didn't even quite have the mana it looked like to work with to even get an Exorcism going for herself. But top lane, Fluff in trouble once again, but we are going to see a rotation. Doe gets the cold feet off. Very nice, Fluff. Throws out another auto attack, and they do blow it right back up in Doom's face. Man, nice little jukage happening there, long enough to prolong him to get the stun off, and they just take care of him.
Yeah, Fluff just outplying there. The Visage Birds were going to come in and try to secure the kill, but Fluff smartly TPs away, realizing he might be in trouble. 1,700 gold in the bank. Is it that early Midas where he's going to get that point booster immediately? We shall see. I mean, he's got plenty of time to think about it and really go from there. 69 CS right now for the Wraith King as it stands. Coming through Ice Blast mid, Chicken MC. He's going to stay long enough to get hit by it. The Crypt Storm's going to miss, but just a casual Ice Blast from the well from Fluff. Nothing too crazy there. He had the mana to use it because, of course, he was regenning now. So a couple heroes sitting mid, and as it stands, very close, very even game. You can give maybe the slight edge to Sna here with 3,000 gold going their way, and actually the experience is even, but really it's the gold doing work for them right now.
That's mostly Ush, too. This guy's still king of the CS right now. 73, over 20 above the next one in line, that being the Invoker, and he's just going to town here in the bottom lane. Yeah. Mirana can't really get close enough to even worry about anything because there's a lingering clockwork in the woods, as you can tell. But this is about the time. He's got the gold now. If he wants to go right for that Sacred Relic, he can do it.
Yeah, I expect him to do so. You can see the courier flying to the secret shop right now, and it's probably going to be that relic coming out for Ush. So a 12-minute relic for a off-lane farming Wraith King, which you don't see too often. And they're not going to try to deal with the Wraith King, excuse me. They're going to try to deal with this Death Prophet mid with a big smoke from 3 heroes. Droik's going to run right at Sna, getting caught out. Telekinesis Duma is up as well. Maybe not even necessary. Look at that burst damage with Soul Assumption and Fabled. Ice Blast hitting onto 2. Hook shot in from Mike. He grabs one. Can he get the other? 4 getting caught out. That's a second death. 1 for 2 trade right now. They're looking for more. Mike jumping away, as well as Whitebeard. A bit of a counter initiation coming in from Shadows of the Past, but they cannot get another kill. They'll lose 2, and a trade that is certainly not worth it. So trades that are unfavorable going both ways.
Yep, and it's just working so nice. They don't have to commit a lot for it. They've had, in the meantime, Ush just continuously farming out in the bottom, and Fluff farming on his own right in the top lane. Wants to get more levels in, wants to get closer, and he is going to go right for the Agnum Scepter, and a Sacred Relic was acquired on Ush. And while he goes ahead and lays out a few right clicks right here, he does hand over the Rayfire Blast to the Rubik.
Yeah, Ush is just going to zone him out a bit, and I don't know if he's really going to commit to anything until... I mean, he does have his reincarnation. He wants to make sure Chicken MC is not obviously joining to gank him or anything like that. He's sitting mid, so I think as long as Chicken MC is not there, he can safely farm and not worry about getting killed. If he gets picked off with reincarnation, he can maybe just run away if there are no disables left, but that's a tall order. I think he just wants to farm up until he can get that Radiance and from that point go to town with his team, so we'll see how it goes. Chicken MC picks up a Midas in that mid lane. He's flying out to him right now. Nayrok has caught up a bit. He's got Phase, almost a drum done here. Just used the recipe for that. Mike with a huge hook shot, though, in that mid lane. He's going to be going for Blade Mail. Arrow flies through, misses on Mike. It looks like the nice defensive disruption is going to go. Demonic Purge and Droik, the Soul Catcher as well. Moonlight Shadow. Mike not hook shotting in. Looks like he decided against the Ice Blast. Coming through long range from Fluff, but that's on his own team, so that's not going to do you any good, my friend.
Nope, in case they managed to make something happen, but I guess the right opportunity wasn't there for Mike, so he's not going to pull the trigger on it quite yet. And, you know, they do have to be a little cautious here. A lot are missing on the side of Shadows of the Past. They're going to be hungry for something here. Rubik's pretty low. He's going to need to heal, but can't really commit to making anything happen. And, for now, they just don't want to hand over the easy tower.
Absolutely. It's really just going to be about defending. And at this point, there's no real strong push coming out except for Exorcism, obviously. And, I mean, that's about it for now. So, but looking down bottom, Mike and Ush, they're going to dive. Oh, nice disjoint coming out on that Wraithfire Blast with the leap coming their way. Hook shot in, though. Mike, he wants to keep going. He knows the leap is down. He's going to try to fight this, but that might have been a mistake. It's Soul Assumption. The Visage Birds as well doing work. And, in fact, Nayrok TP's in his way just to make sure that, of course, they get the kill secured, excuse me.
Yeah, that was a bit of a misplay there. Mike was just getting ready to go to town there in that fight, but Whitebeard didn't have much mana to work with at all, and I guess Ush wasn't in the right position to make anything happen either, but a nice full commitment coming out here in the bottom lane. Shadows of the Past want to pick up the first tower for them, and they're already laying it on thick here in the bottom lane. Fortification temporary pops. Gonna look to go around. There's a bit of a purge, but the lift flies. Whitebeard gonna eat a lot of nuke damage, and he gets obliterated and taken right apart. Meanwhile, from behind, SNA doesn't want to pull out the Exorcism just yet. Ush, there we go, nice. Wands back up a little bit of mana for himself so he can ultimate as he begins to right-click here. Oh, he's gonna be able to wait. Nope. Easily ripped apart with one last auto attack, and wow, 3 downs for 1.
Good fight from Sneaky Nyx Assassin, realizing that if they hit the silence up in the Doom, he can't get it off. He gets low enough, and he actually goes down. That duration seemed a bit long, 3 seconds, and it seemed like it was doing its work there. Meanwhile, us just working real hard to get a couple of these kills, obviously. The Wraithfire Blast coming in to a certain effect. You can understand the Mirana trying to TP out, but the Battery Assault had gone, and the right click was there for both of the parties. And the Crypt Swarm, obviously, just to do enough nuke damage. Finally, the Radiance is done after, I guess, stagnating for a bit. He has his Wand right now up in his stash as well. We'll see if he picks up Treads, but now with the Radiance, a couple of these fragile heroes, which there are a few, are going to fall very quickly for Shadows of the Past. So
yeah, and they definitely need to get something going for themselves sooner than later, because their late game might not, be too good contending against the King. So we'll see what they make of it. I mean, that's why we also saw an early Midas potentially come out on the Invoker. Chicken MC wants to farm up, be able to bring forward a lot of damage himself. It looks like with the Staff of the Wizardry, or is they going to go for something like the lines of a Necro Book so they can get some more capitalization with the pushing?
I'd say if it was Quas Exhort, you definitely go for Necro with the Forge Spirits, but since it's Quas Flex, he's, I think, probably going to pick up the Force Staff. Shadow Demon gets a kill on Joik, and now they're going to get the Disruption going through as well. Now, Shadow Demon backs off as he realizes that they can't get that kill on the Doom. They'll just get away. Obviously, the Moonlight Shadow's still going. And Chicken MC, he's been a part of 3 fights here. Well, 3 kills at least. 3 assists going his way, but nothing really else. I mean, this is an Invoker who I think needs to be a part of stuff, and right now he's not really contributing to these engagements. They're not EMPing, they're not tornadoing when they need to get a couple of fights going their way, and it just maybe is kind of stagnating here for Shadows of the Past. They're, I think, even further behind now with about 4,000 gold going the way of Sneaky Nyx Assassin and 4,000 experience as well.
Yep, and all the meanwhile, Mike and Mirana been respectively farming against each other in the bottom lane. Neither of them really looking to go too far, but Mike does move on into level 11. That level 2 hook shot is going to be oh so nice, and now he completes that blade mill, so the next time he does make a power bomb dive into a team fight, he'll have a little more, durability for himself, and he'll be able to put out a little more damage with the help of that.
Yeah, and honestly, it's just so good. Not only for that, but the mana issues as well. Gives you that extra intelligence going your way. The 6 armor and the right click that might be dealt by Mirana is pretty negligible at this point. You look at what she's got. She's got Treads and a Wraith Band. I mean, this Mirana is very starred for levels and even for golden experience. I mean, she's sitting at 3,000 net worth. She's lower than Fluff and stuff as it stands right now. So the Mirana who is a core, turns out she didn't get much done. I think it all comes down to that level 1 gank that they pulled off on her, and of course never getting a really good start. They kind of just blew that tri-lane up, decided to go against it for a while. Luckily, the rest of Shadows of the Past are doing okay. The Doom as well as Chicken MC are decently farmed. They have a gem up now. That's on the Visage, and they're trying to take towers. They're trying to continue to pressure without really taking a firm engagement. I think that's because if they take a fight right now against Sna, they'll just die, and a lot of that's Exorcism. You can see it right now doing work on this tier 1 tower. One's backing off. That's risky. He's going to throw his arrow long range. He's going to just hit a range creep there and kill it. And that's a tower that just gets melted by level 2 Exorcism from Sna.
Yep. Textbook Death Prophet right there. Just something I'm surprised we haven't seen a little bit sooner, but now it's the time apparently. One more tier 1 does stand in the mid lane. It's pretty low here, so let's go ahead and get a nice little conga line as we make the rotation all the way up and into the proper position. Look to push forward. Now Shadows of the Past will have to question if they want. Oh, he's going to get caught. Uh-oh, Chicken MC a little in too close. Do they have the vision? They do. Pops the dust. They're looking to hand out the nuke damage. With a death more later. Jumping by Mike. They get it done. Now looks like Ush wants to make something happen. The King has been present. Running right in. Wants to make moves on Rubik, who gets disrupted in the meantime and will end up pulling back. Doom flies out on the Death Prophet, and Nayrok jumps in to a little more than he'd like and ends up falling in the end. They hand over 3 for none right there, man. That all started with Chicken MC just getting caught out, wasn't well aware of what's happening, and was not expecting all of the sneaky Nyx assassins to make that rotation to the mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, they pushed that tier 1 tower. Maybe they thought they were going to wait for the exorcism coming through from the Death Prophet as it was on cooldown, but really they wanted to keep the pressure on, and it seems that Sna have hit their stride here. They're going to look for more towers. They're going to look for more fights. I mean, they're far ahead at this point, so... Well, Mike, he's getting caught out of position. He's got no hook shot for another 9 seconds. He might be able to cog up if necessary. The Ice Blast is going to fly through. We might see on the high ground. Ush is ready to go. He still has that reincarnation, and of course the Intread's going as well, just to make sure he's got enough mana. Oh, Risk is playing very close right now. He can obviously leap away if necessary, but it looks like they're just going to back off altogether. And with that, that means just more items going the way of Sneaky Nyx Assassin. The tier 2 towers have fallen. All of their tier 1s are still alive. No pushing coming out from the side of Shadows of the Past. They really are just farming, and they're not getting anything out of it. And I'd say if you're Shadows of the Past at this point, you maybe look to Sneak a Roche. You have a Medallion up in the Visage. You have Visage Birds as well. They'll smoke up, but it looks like they want to try to go for a pick-off instead, which... I don't know. We'll see, man.
He's going to find this ward right here. Easy 50 gold in my pocket. Thank you very much. Come on. Come on. What?
I think they don't want to blow the smoke up yet.
They got it right there. But that's a testament to these hardworking supports right now. They pick up the early gem of Visage, and Shadow Demon sets one back himself, and now they have a gem on their own side. Trying to make some early damage happen here on the top tier 2 tower. Snod just sneaking in one, doing little bits of damage with the Exorcism, and now Shadows of the Past, they might wait out this Exorcism before they make their jump in, or at least wait till the back end of it before they try to make something happen. Yules goes out on Doom. Here we go. Chicken MC silenced up by the Death Prophet, can't start getting anything off, already down to half-life, has to be careful. Soul Assumption flies, Mike in a bit of trouble, pulls back, there goes the hit, Doom to fly out on the Prophet. Oh no, it's Fluff. Fluff gets caught out with the arrow and ends up falling in the end. 1-for-1 trade, all in all right now. Oh, but a nice jump in from Mike, going right on Chicken MC, but he doesn't get it! Oh, the Soul Assumption from Visage, blows it right back up. Valiant effort, my mustache friend, but he will have to make the trip.
Oh my god, if Fluff had a buyback, there'd be like 3 dead heroes right now for the side of Shadows of the Past. Well, at least 2. Oh, goodness.
The Hail Mary from base.
Yeah, seriously, just long range, snipe it up and just call the GG after that. Just be like, oh man, that's it. This guy's too good for us. But no, he's down. Of course, he dies first in the fight. He could, I believe, the Ice Blast off. Mike jumping in a bit greedily, looking for the kill, as you talked about, and so very close. One right click away or a flare, if he had anything, really, would have gone their way. But a fight finally going the way of Shadows of the Past. It looks like just getting the better end of a trade, which they haven't had this entire game. With 7,500 gold lead for Sna, and with a 7,500 experience lead, it doesn't really amount to much, but at least they defend the tier 2 top. They need, like, at least 5 or 6 more of those fights going their way, or at least, like, a team fight or 2. Nayrok is getting up to his next item. It'll be either a Shiva's or an Assault Cuirass. I don't think there's anything on the Courier. Invoker, his Necro is done, so actually I was incorrect. I'd say maybe if you were Quas Exhort, you go for the Necro book, but he's Quas Wix, he picked it up anyways, so I guess I was a bit off the mark there.
I guess, well, if, you know, obviously Necro book against the Wraith King is just kind of almost too good to pass up.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Want to get that mana down right there. But the nice thing that you also have with that is if you do manage to come on top in some of these fights, you have that extra bit of push power to really try to take down a tier 3 or take down a set of racks before they can get back into the firefight. So it's definitely nice, but I see where you're coming from. Not probably too late. I just think it's because the King happens to be on other team.
It's something that I forget situationally. Items change from Dota game to Dota game. So definitely a good point talking about Wraith King. Obviously the Necro Archer and that mana burn is disgustingly good, as you mentioned. So yeah, it's really important now. But yes, the items are important as it stands, and the Necro books are going to be good for Shadows of the Past, but Fluff has an items right now. You've got a couple more items coming through. If we look at the Wraith King, what does he have? He's got his Blink now. He's going for BKB, excuse me. Urn for Whitebeard. I mean, even the supports right now for Snow are pretty rich, and it comes down to, again, the Mirana. I mean, she's just got nothing, man. I mean, she's trying to get to a Maelstrom, but that's it. That's it.
Shadows of the Past may have come out on top in the last fight, but now they're going to be going against a whole new team. The Aghanim Scepter has been complete since the last time, and we already know the devastating damage that the Ice Blast can do. And now with the Blink Dagger acquired on Ush, he doesn't have to worry about being kited around too much. He can get right into the battle, right where he wants it. If he sacks himself the first time around, it won't matter because that slow is just paralyzing against the team.
Yeah, they pretty much are just like... quicksand, essentially, for
Molasses.
the most part. Yeah. Whatever, I guess, terminology you want to use, but that's exactly right. I just think, and he's honestly ready to go. I think this Wraith King is like, it's mating time for this Wraith King here. It's killing time, if you will. He's ready to jump in. I maybe wait for the BKB, but even that you don't need to because they have such a dominant lead. They have Exorcism again. Death Prophet 1 level away from that level 3 ultimate, and that might be too much for Shadows of the Past to deal with. That's just a lot of damage coming through. They'll make a rotation down to that bottom lane. They'll try to push it out real quick and maybe bait something on Chicken MC. But as it stands, Sna's not taking it. IX Mike, speaking of Aghanims, he's building one for himself. No surprise there. Still no sneaked roast yet coming out from Shadows of the Past. They could do it. I mean, they have potential. They've got Visage Birds. Like I said, they have Medallion, but they don't maybe have the right click through the Mirana or the Doom. So that's maybe the one thing holding them back, I'd say.
Yeah, they're playing a lot of footsie down here, just trying to scout each other out, but no team's quite committing on anything just yet. And it does look like the sneaky Nyx Assassins will pull back for now, reside to a little bit of side jungle farm, and just try to keep tabs on that Roshan pit. As you can see there, Mike with the rocket wants to make sure they don't try to step in and take anything from, from under them. So for now, just going to try to keep the enemy team in check and just keep working on side reliable farm. And in the meantime, Fluff just kind of doing what we see like Owie do from time to time when it's Ancient Apparition. Just commit to his side lane. You don't need to really be in the heavy fights. You just want to get a really nice Ice Blast going, especially with that Aghanim Scepter, and then you can do bits of side pushing with the help of Chilling Touch.
Yeah, I agree with you. And actually that kind of forces, you see everybody grouped up for Shadows of the Past down bottom. They're expecting a push to come through from the side of Seeking Nyx Assassin. If it had happened, they might be able to win the fight because it would be 4 versus 5. But at some point, they're going to have to deal with this push top. You can see some heroes already rotating through for it. So they actually smoked up, and they're expecting to try to catch out Fluff. The problem here is that Fluff has a tier 1 tower at his back, so he can get behind the tower. He can have friends TP to the tower, but he's playing a bit aggressively, and this might cost him his life.
Yeah, he's lingering way too long right here. Oh, he doesn't know it's coming his way. Oh, bye, Fluff. See you later. Lift up, throwback, Fade Bolt. Yeah, just a little bit of miss of game sense right there to see that the whole team was gone and nowhere to be around. So,
he got the Mirana. I don't even know where she died. Oh my god, did Mike go in on her? Did somebody go in on her and somehow
he
she
had
died?
lobbed out the Ice Blast on the bottom lane before he died, like right before he met eyes with Doom and everyone, and I guess that was a trigger they were planned out where Mike said, hey, throw out the Ice Blast, I'll make a jump on Mirana, and they did so. So I guess it works in their favor in the end as they get a better, valuable pickup.
The thing is, he didn't use his hookshot. Was that just Flare and Ice Blast killing the Mirana? God, I wish I had instant replay right now.
Scepter, man.
Yeah, I know. Oh my goodness, that's a disgusting amount of damage coming out just from at least 1 or 2 abilities alone. So, and yeah, that was, I mean, Fluff, that was kind of an oh shit panic button kind of TP that he had to make. And you talked about mispositioning, and he still wanted to be in that top lane trying to pick some heroes off. And yes, he did get the kill on the Mirana, but maybe at the cost of his life, which isn't that valuable, I suppose, for a support Ancient Apparition. So we're going to continue to play the farm game, everybody. 27 minutes in, and it just looks like Sna, they want to secure this game. Get the BKB up, get the Aghanims up on IX Mike. What other items are they building? I'm not sure if they really need anything else. Level 16 is now done for the DP, so I guess we're ready to go for the most part.
I mean, obviously, if this was any other, core kind of carry that typically gets a BKB, I'd be like, hey, what are you doing? You're picking up a BKB against a Doom. That doesn't seem like a good idea, but obviously, we were talking about before, with the help of that reincarnation, he has to hold out the Doom for the right opportunity. He can have it, but it just depends on how patient he wants to be, or if he wants to, make sure he can cancel anything that Mike might bring to the table, or the Shadow Demon, or the Death Prophet, who's also a very valuable, person to Doom. So he's got choices to make, and with the BKB, man, Ush is going to be able to tank things up even further.
Yeah, and honestly, I'd be very surprised to see Narok throw up the Doom just to try to stop the BKB. I mean, he's not going to know what's up. I mean, unless he checks his inventory right now, which he should. I mean, they're pro players. Inventory checking is a vital part of the game. So, but as we're talking, Ush, maybe a bit of bait in that mid lane. Well, they don't want to touch him, but guess what? Sna, they want to touch you. They want to head mid. They want to go for this tier 2 tower. Big jump in from Ush. There's the stun. Moonlight Shadow doesn't matter. Narok getting blown the heck up. I'll back off now. Arrow flying through. It's actually going to hit on Ush. Maybe in some trouble here. There's going to be no real... Oh, no. The EMP. Now Whitebeard getting caught out. He's got enough mana to use that disruption, but just barely. Ush missed out on that EMP. He's full mana right now. The Necro's chasing after him here. And we'll survive, it looks like, at least for the time being. Still getting chased back, but the Exorcism working on that tier 2. It'll take it down. Mike takes the arrow to the face, but he looks to be okay for now. The Necro Warrior, they've turned their opinions and focus on Ix Mike 88. There's the mana burn, taking some damage to Mike right now. Crypt Swarm flying through the flare as well. God, this Necro 3 is annoying, but Mike backs off. Happy with what they've accomplished. He's got his Aghanims now. Ush, he's not ready. He's not ready to leave yet, though, but finally says, okay, that's enough of that.
Yeah, Ush was in the initial firefight and then decided to pull back. Wasn't sure if he wanted to commit out his reincarnation just yet. And I can, understand why. He's so close to level 16. You want to pop that 16 before you pop your ultimate. Then the duration gets really, really low. Only 60 seconds at level 3. Unbelievable. That's every fight. You have to take him down twice.
Yeah, that's and you even maybe factor in ages with that, and you don't know what you got to do in the fight at that point. It's pretty much all over the place. So
ignore him at that point.
Yeah.
If you're ignoring him, you're allowing him and all that radiance damage to keep coming out. So it's very questionable, decisions that Shadow of the Past has to make in these fights.
And I don't even know. I don't even know if they can make the right decision at this point. It just seems like they're a little too far behind. They're not out of it yet. Obviously, this Marana needs way more farm. Luckily, the Necro 3 has been doing something in these engagements, but not enough as it seems. We have Ush. He's down bottom. He's got his BKB. He's got his reincarnation level 3, like you mentioned. So his bravado, is only going to increase as the game moves on. He gets more items, and like you talked about, he has that level 3 reincarnation. Fluff's going to throw an Ice Blast down. We'll see if they can find somebody and pick somebody off here. Maybe one of these supports. Let's see who it hits, if anybody at all. Joik's going to walk right into it, sadly. And Wraithking's not in position to go for that kill, but still.
But now this Rubik's like, I can't be a part of this next fight. I'm going to be near dead. So he has to make the run all the way to the fountain.
Oh, boy. Marana getting caught out. Somebody's courier died. But really, the most important thing is that Marana dies instantly to Fluff with the Chilling Touch. And Sna, obviously, getting the last hit there. So congrats to Ehug Pandago for getting the courier kill prize.
Really? Yeah. It is Ehug Pandago. Congratulations. Really nice.
It was the ready one. But they doomed up Ush.
Oh, the king is eating the first doom, but he's got a reincarnation to fall back on, so he will fall.
He's got his BKB now. Hook
shot
in.
Nice.
My
Pops
lord.
The book. In close quarters, though, the Blade Mail putting up a bit of damage, but they got him congested and all kinds of screwed up. Exorcism going to town right now. Nayrok on the run, but can't get away. 4 down, just like that. And that Rubik, he's not going to be able to hold this tier 2 tower. It's going to go down with ease here with the help of Exorcism. And 10 more seconds for the Mirana. Potential racks incoming here.
Yeah, they've got a couple of options. They can even head top right now where Fluff is working on the last of this tier 2 tower. They can go Roche, which may be a better option here. I don't think they can contest it at this point. Doom is going to be down by the time they head to the Roche pit. Invoker's not alive. Ush backs off. It looks like they're going to head top. There's a double damage room that they clearly see. And we talked about how Shadows of the Past, maybe one of the Titans here in Group B, but they're getting massively outplayed right now by Sneaky Nyx Assassin, who, by the way, they've yet to lose a game as of yet. It's 2-0 for them right now. They've only played one series, but this second series for them starting out fantastically as it's 31 minutes in. What's the gold lead now? What's the damage? 12,000. The experience lead, that's 12,000 as well. So, I don't know, man. I don't know what you do here if you're Shadows of the Past.
You pause. That's what you do, Mott. You pause. Chicken MC calls out for a quick pause, and we'll see. I don't know. Tactical pause here. What the hell are we going to do, everyone? That king is getting out of control. He's building in way too much damage for himself. We just tried to formulate a game plan to take him down in the bottom lane, but it literally blew up back in our faces with the help of Mike jumping in. He locked them all together, and then pretty much Death Prophet got to go full ham on the whole team with the help of that Exorcism. And I really don't know if Shadows of the Past can make anything happen for themselves. They're just now, their overall damage is just nowhere near the potential and nowhere near that Sneaky Nyx Assassins is. So I think it's just all crumbling apart right now.
If the Mirana had even a semblance of farm, they might be okay in these team fights, but she just has a Maelstrom, and she's so squishy. She can't do anything right now. Doom's got nothing as well. He's got a Shiva's Guard, but that's Sna's third item is a Shiva's Guard at this point, so he'll pick that up casually just to get a bit of armor going his way, and obviously that nice little, I don't even know what the active ability on that is called, but it's that big frost circle thing. So as it stands now, Sneaky Nyx Assassin are well on their way to taking this game. It is a 2-game series, so in the event that Shadows of the Past go down, they can try to break even with the next game. But once again, it's not over yet, guys. While we've got this pause, though, I do want to say, guys, go ahead and buy the ticket, $3.99 in the Dota store. If you want to make sure that Ehug Pandago or any of your friends don't get these, of course, items, you can just purchase up the ticket yourself, and boom, there you go. All of a sudden, you got a chance at those items, and some beautiful items at that. You talk about the NEL and the items that came out from it, there were so many people that got it. People got rich off of items in the NEL. I mean, Kyle Guy knows it as well. I mean, he's there. There's a lot of.
Yeah, you're talking big items worth maybe 10 cents, some maybe a quarter. Man, you add that up, you got yourself a pack of gum in like no time, baby. It's gonna be some good stuff. But yeah, I mean, ADL for a lot of you newcomers in the ADL right now, we're around for season 1. We got $10,000 are up for grabs between all these prominent, North American and South American talented teams right now. 2 different groups. We got more of the upper echelon teams, I guess if you will, Revenge, Team Dog, E-Hug, and Liquid in Group A, and teams like, Sneaky Nick's Assassins and Shadows of the Past in Group B. And we'll get to see which team will get their way into the playoffs here, going against those upper echelon North American, South American teams, and, who's going to inherit a lot more gold for them, a lot more money, rather, for themselves. I want Dota gold. I don't want cash.
Oh, my lord. Yeah, that would be a miserable experience, I think. But, I mean, don't even think for a second that these top Group A teams have it in the bag. We've seen Liquid already go down to Dog. Revenge and E-Hug are good in their own right, but they are certainly beatable by some of these teams, including the newly formed North American Rejects with Korok, Fog, Snake King, the King, hashtag the King. 1437, Dismech, and Brax, of course, captaining it up. So, I mean, definitely some good teams here. We already talked about Osiris, how good they can be, Shadows of the Past, and No Earth Spirit as well, looking very solid. There's some top teams here, and, of course, the South American talent as well, so...
Yeah, and it's for some of these teams, it's hard to tell, or if you don't really know them that well, if they're taking this stuff too seriously, or if it's a matter, let's just all get together, we're a bunch of talented players and want to see if we can win some money. But for the teams that might be making it more seriously, the ones who come on top on a lot of these, there might be some sponsorships out there watching these games and looking to try to bring in a new team for themselves. So you never know, man. You might see the very next Arteezy or Sing Sing or what have you.
I've heard Complexity's been looking for a team for like 2 years now. I don't know if that rumor's accurate or not, but I mean, honestly, like there are sponsorships available for Dota. Most people will go for that European sponsorship in North America. I mean, as long as you put on a good performance, which a couple of these teams have thus far, you're in a good point. But enough about that. Back to the game at hand, which is not over yet. 33 minutes in, and it looks like you see Ush here. They're going to exorcism. You see these spirits up. You see the ghosts, and of course the Visage Familiars are going to get caught out. One's already dead. The other has to retreat away, at least for the time being. And now Wraith King has his Assault Cuirass, armor reduction, arrow flying through. That's going to hit on Roche. They're going to back off EMP Tornado, a bit off the mark. Ush still fine to jump into the pit. I don't even know if you can contest right now. Moonlight Shadow's going to fly, and it looks like Shadows of the Past are just going to give it up. Roshan's going to go. It's going to be the Radiant getting it. Mike hooking in right now, looking to find Chicken MC. They've got the Sentry. Arrow's going to fly through. He pops the Blade Bill. Nice disruption defensively. Chicken MC getting cold feeded. Boom. Dunzo. He's dead. They'll look for more on the hut. You can see Wraith King going after the Visage. He's got Grave Chill to make speed out of there, but the Shiva's Guard and the right click from the King blowing things up. My goodness, bow, peasants, bow before your king, as the wink coming out from Joik. Wow. Oh my god, Joik! Oh, you provoked him!
Bow before your highness right now!
You have provoked him,
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
The initiation factor coming out from Sneaky Nick's Assassin is just too good. I mean, on Shadows of the Past, they're hoping to get an arrow in or a good tornado to try to set something up for themselves. While, man, the Nick's Assassins, they can just do whatever they want. Right now, they're thinking that they want to take Rax, jump in. His Highness does miss the opportunity to get someone right there, but they go right back.
And it's GG. That's going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. Just like that, Shadows of the Past. Well, they'll go down. Their second loss of the ADL comes at the hands of Sneaky Nick's Assassin with some fantastic play. Some of the best play coming out from at least one of these teams in the ADL in a while. They controlled the pace of the game very well. They pushed when they needed to. The Death Prophet pick wasn't like cliched. It wasn't niche. It performed exactly as it needed to. And same with the Wraith King, just dominating 6-0-4. No deaths for Ush. Not really that high of a GPM, but really it doesn't matter as his team comes out on top. And Kyle Guy, a great start to this series.
Yep, definitely great start. But we got it's a 2-game series, so we get to find out now if Shadows of the Past can come back and lift their heads up and be ready to even things. And we'll see how it goes. I'm excited.
We will see, guys. We'll take a quick commercial break. Please stick around, obviously. It's very, very quick. I mean, we'll be right back into the next game as soon as I throw up that commercial. Obviously, guys, check out the Dota ticket. $3.99 in the Dota store. Twitch.tv/American Dota League as well. My name is Maud. With me is Kyle Guy. You can follow us Twitter.com/MaudDota2 and Twitter.com/KyleGuy. We will be right back.